Hello beautiful, and welcome to today's pick a card reading with me, the high maintenance hippie. And in today's reading I want to discover your pathway towards fame, fortune and success. Now I understand that not everybody wants to be famous, but I did want to include fame within the title of this reading because if I do see fame in those cards, you know I'm going to tell you. But something I can guarantee is that we all want to be successful and fortunate. So I want to look into what success and fortune means for you. If we boil this down, we could say that I'm looking into your highest potential. So to begin with, I want to look into your current energy and circumstances versus that highest potential. I then want to find out what's getting in the way of you reaching your highest potential, and then I want to end off with some guidance to help you towards that highest potential. So if you want to find out these juicy and developmental details, I need you to pick one of these three piles. Pile number one, we have the guide. Pile number two is the mother, and pile number three is the engineer. I highly recommend that you go with your first gut instinct. Spirit is going to guide you towards the pile which has the most relevant information for you, and once you have chosen your pile, I shall see you in your reading. Hello there gorgeous pile number one, welcome to your reading. Let's look into your pathway towards fame, fortune and success. Now straight off the bat I can feel fame radiating from these cards, and that doesn't mean that everybody who's chosen pile number one is going to be famous, but I can most certainly see a potential of fame here if that is something that you desire within this lifetime. Also, bear in mind that fame doesn't always have to come in the worldwide Beyonce and Rihanna package. Fame can come in many different types of packages, and you don't have to be an A-list celebrity to be famous. So when I look into your current energy, I can see that you do something very creative and influential, but this is very private at the moment. So I don't know whether you've got a hobby where you do something very creative and influential. I don't know whether you do something very creative and influential currently, but you do this from home. And I do think there'll be some of you that don't realise that whatever this thing is that you do that's creative and influential, I don't think you realise it could gain you success and fame if that is something that you're looking for. I definitely see that whatever this is a key to your abundance within this lifetime. But I definitely see that you have to break some chains to get to it. Now, I don't know whether you come from friends groups or families where they wouldn't consider whatever this thing is a career. And I'm really feeling like influencer kind of vibes coming from you guys. I wouldn't be surprised if you are somebody who would like to utilise social media to influence in some way. And I can definitely see this being very Venusian kind of subject. So we've got like beauty here, lifestyle, fitness, finances. Bear in mind though, this could just be communicating very creatively to teach people about a subject that they don't know about, which would still be a very Venusian thing. Okay, attracting people towards a subject that you are very knowledgeable about. But I do see a lot of you being in front of a camera and also being in front of quite a lot of people. I can just see like paparazzi snapping. So I don't know whether this would lead to paparazzi or whether this could even lead to things like photo shoots and things like that. But there's something very Venusian about this. I can even feel that some of you might feel embarrassed to express whatever this is because you feel that other people may frown upon it. I do sense like a lot of beauty coming from you guys, pile number one. But on the other hand, I do sense a lot of jealousy here as well. So I don't know whether you are somebody who is naturally very beautiful and very influential. Maybe you're somebody who gets a lot of compliments. Maybe you're the kind of person where people say, oh, you know, where did you get that dress from? Oh, how is your hair so thick? Oh my gosh, like you must eat really well. You've got beautiful clear skin. It could be the fact that you drive a certain car and people go, oh my God, how did you make enough money to buy that car? Okay, I'm just throwing examples out there because this is a collective reading, but I think you understand what I'm saying here. Make that fit for you. But on the other hand, you'll have the jealous people as well. I see lovers and I see haters here with you, pile number one. And I do want to say, if you do decide to expand on whatever this creative influential thing is, you are going to get lovers and you are going to get haters. There may be an air of needing to build your confidence before you actually express this more openly. And I do think you will have to go through a phase of dealing with the haters. But if you build that confidence, those haters aren't even going to be able to touch you because your self-esteem is going to be so solid and be so strong. I definitely sense family members and friends not particularly understanding your creativity. But I don't necessarily feel it's like they don't understand it. I feel like they don't understand it, or they wouldn't understand it, or you feel they wouldn't understand it if you went in the direction of making this a career or doing this more publicly. But I do want to say, in that case, I think you'd be very surprised if you did make this more public. You may find that a couple of people within your circle will also follow. I do think you'll have support within your circle, which you may not have realised, but I do also think that maybe 1 or 2 people within your circle will follow your footsteps, and you'll have influenced them to do something that they've been dreaming of. It's one of those things, like if Paul number 1 can do it, maybe I can do it. It's like you're the person who does it first. You're the crusader, is what I want to say. I never use the word crusader. I really hope that makes sense. Sometimes I get these like more long and elaborate words come through in readings, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever used that word in my life, and I don't know what it means. And I always think like, oh my gosh, when it comes to the production side and I have to Google what that word means, I'm like, please let it make sense. But yeah, apparently you're the crusader here. So when it comes to your highest potential, you've got the potential to be an icon, an OG. There's something very like, I even want to say, what's the word I'm looking for? Not inaccessible, unachievable about you. But I think this is going to be one of your selling points. I can see lots of thick, luscious hair here in all of these cards, and it does make me think that potentially we do have something about your hair that might stand out. We could be looking at somebody who's a Leo rising or a Leo sun. I do also want to say we've got a lot of midheaven energy here too, so we could be looking at Taurus midheaven, Pisces midheaven, Scorpio midheaven, Leo midheaven. Did I say Taurus midheaven? I think I said Taurus first. So we could be looking at those placements here, but there's something around the hair here. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be doing something influential with your hair, but I do think your hair is going to be a selling point for you. Another one of your selling points is the fact that your lifestyle is very unachievable for a lot of people. So you're going to get people who are truly influenced by you, what you express, what you say, what you do, whatever this influence is. It can be anything, by the way, guys. This is a collective reading, so make it fit for you. But then you're going to have people who are kind of just obsessed with you because you're everything that they want to embody and they don't feel like they can. There could be something around you expressing yourself to give people more confidence and more self-esteem. Whether this be you guys helping people work on their finances, work on their beauty, work on their fitness, work on their diet, and so on and so on. I do feel for some of you, you could be looking to start your own tarot channel or do something along these lines, just because I do see a hand here in this fixed card. So you could be doing something a little bit like me, where you can, you know, it's the hands that are doing the talking. Even though I can tell it's definitely my mouth that's doing the talking. It could even be something like this. It could be palm reading, it could be astrology. Now, what's getting in the way of you reaching this high, iconic, and like unachievable to other people kind of potential? I can definitely see here that maybe you've been expected to go down a different route. Maybe you've been expected to go down a more educational route, I want to say. Some of you may be stuck or feel like you're stuck within a more corporate job. Some of you may have gained degrees and got jobs from that degree and feel like, you know, I've chose my purpose, so this thing, I can never make it a full-time biz because, you know, I've got, you know, I'm a lawyer or I'm a solicitor or something along those lines full-time. You know, some of you may have already reached like a very high status within something a lot more corporate here, and you feel like you just can't let that go. It's like too much of a risk to let that go. And again, for some of you, you may just not have had the influences around you to give you that nudge and that encouragement to say, you know, you can make this a career if you want, or you can make this a side hustle if you want. I definitely think there's something around the people that you surround yourself with. And I want to say, in that case, if you're somebody who wants to do something more creative and step out of the box, look online, join a group. You know, make it just a couple of new friends, a couple of new online friends, and spending enough time with them and chatting with them and throwing ideas around with them is going to make you feel like this path is a lot more normal than you actually think it is. I think there may be a worry around finances here too. Maybe you have like a bit of a worry about whether this is going to bring in enough money. Maybe you've not done enough research to see how much money you can actually potentially make here. Or you have done the research and you're very aware of the financial cut you're going to have to make to do something like this. A lot of you could be in a phase where you're holding off on whatever this is and saying, I'm not going to do this just yet. I'm going to save up some money, then I'm going to do it. I do also see a fear of success here with you guys. I don't know whether you grew up in a household where you were made to feel guilty when you succeeded. For those of you that understand this fear of success, you're going to get it. But for people who don't understand a fear of success, they're literally like, how could anyone fear success? But a lot of it can boil down to your upbringing. It could be that you had a sibling or a parent where you were always in competition with them. Maybe it was always competition. Who's the strongest? Who's the smartest? Who's the best looking? Who's the most talented? It could be that you could have been an older sibling or a younger sibling who was very good at something, and your parent had to come over and say, hey, like, you know, your sister's doing gymnastics too, and she's not doing as well as you are. When you come home, do you mind if you just kind of tone it down a little bit? Don't brag that you've recently won an award, or, you know, things like that, which is very understandable in a home situation, but it's very damaging to a child to be told to kind of tone it down, or don't express your achievements because you're going to upset somebody else. Like, that can be drilled within our psyche, and then for the rest of our lives, we feel guilty when we succeed. And for you guys, pile number one, you could resonate with that. And if that's the case, I want to say, you know, go back into your childhood. Pinpoint what this actually was. Pinpoint why you feel guilty to succeed. Pinpoint why you feel guilty to, you know, be larger than life and take up space. Because once you find whatever that is, you can eliminate it. You can be like, oh, there we go. I'm letting that situation govern the rest of my life and govern my success. You're letting it cap your abundance. And if you can't do that on your own, you can always look into hypnotherapy to help you with that, or you can always look into therapy or counselling to help you with that. Because I do see you being somebody who can attract money very, very well. As I said, I'm seeing this Venusian energy with you guys, and Venus attracts. Venus looks good, Venus smells good, Venus sounds good, and it just attracts things to it effortlessly. And that is your natural energy. You could even be a Libra rising watching this. You naturally attract things to you. So regardless whether you leave like your more corporate job or whatever it is that you're leaving behind, you will succeed at what this creative and influential endeavor is. It's guaranteed. It may be slow, and I'm going to tell you right now, because with this Taurus energy and this fixed energy, it may be slow to reach the top, but OG status is waiting there for you. We've got intelligent and study here for you guys. So whatever this thing is, you may be required to do a course of some kind. So if this is you wanting to be a tarot reader, for instance, you could take a little mini tarot course. If this is somebody who wants to be an influencer, maybe you could take like an influencer's course or something along those lines. I had a friend tell me about a social media course that she found from somebody who's, you know, successful on social media, but it was only £30. And spending that £30 could give you a leg up when it comes to whatever this is, and also a little bit of confidence that you can achieve whatever this is. And as I said, just make sure you are surrounding yourself with people who do something similar. It doesn't matter whether you've started on your journey or not. Just surround yourself with people who are even on that journey already. And we've also got intense, and I do think this is pertaining to the intensity of your energy. You're most certainly going to be somebody that people notice naturally. You may know this already. You may walk into a room and you've got all eyes on you. And as I said before, I do think you could have a few jealous eyes on you as well. I do sense, as I said, this Venusian energy, but then I also sense this very Plutonian energy with you as well. And Pluto is also extremely magnetic. Venus is more like la-di-da kind of magnetic. Pluto is very much like really intense magnetism. Like, I'm going to magnetize you in, whether you want to be magnetized in or not. And there's something very powerful in that. I'm not sure whether I mentioned at the start of this reading, but there's something around your energy being very powerful, your influence being very powerful here. Okay. And the guidance that Spirit has for you, I've got peace, fear, clarity, and a new day. Now, I do feel like Spirit is trying to tell you here that starting anything new or delving into anything that you've never delved in before, or expressing yourself on a truly raw and authentic level is extremely scary. All of these things are supposed to be scary. There is nobody who influences online. There's nobody who takes it upon themselves to start their own business, start their own brand, start their own company who's not got fear around it, especially when you're doing it on your own and you're showing the world a new side of yourself. Spirit wants to say to God, help guide you towards whatever this thing is for you, whatever this influence is for you. It's supposed to be scary. It's normal to be scary. It's important not to let that fear hold you back. It's important to be courageous and work through that fear. Because there's a reason not everybody lives their dreams and lives to their highest potential. Because it's damn scary. And so many people cannot get past that fear. It's like a boundary that filters the weak from the strong. And you have the potential to be the strong. You've just got to work through that fear. Because Spirit is saying there's peace waiting for you on the other side. And I absolutely love this card. I absolutely adore the colours in this card, for starters. But I can just see the top of this mountain. I think you're going to get to the point where you're going to reach the top of the mountain that you're completely untouchable. I do also think if you're somebody who hasn't found love yet, I do see there being love at the top of this mountain as well. And when you start gaining that success and being brave and pushing down those boundaries, you're going to raise your energy levels or your vibration to where your vibration is supposed to be, and then you're going to attract like the love of your life. I can just see love at the top of this mountain, especially with those two swans there as well. I do think there's high potentials of travel for you coming up in the future as well. I don't know whether it's going to be long distance travel, but I feel for a lot of you watching this pile number 1, you don't really have the desire to move countries or anything like that. So I'm seeing like quite a lot of short distance travel for you guys, so I don't know whether that appeals to you. But essentially, Spirit wants me to tell you that there's peace on the other side of all of this. There's success. There's safety. That's come up very strongly. There's safety on the other side of this. Because I keep on hearing, you will be untouchable. No one will be able to touch you. So I don't know whether you do get haters in your life at the moment or people that are jealous. And they do instill some fear into you, because I'm really strongly hearing that they won't be able to touch you. But at the same time, you're also going to find like that peaceful love as well, that peaceful romantic relationship on the other side. Spirit is saying with this clarity card here, you already know what this thing is. It already lives within your mental space. This is already a dream that you've had or an idea that you've had. And with a new day, I really do feel like they're saying like, just start tomorrow. Whatever this is, just start working towards it tomorrow, even if that means like taking notes and starting to plan and starting to mind map. Every day is a new day. The mountains are there again. The mountains are there in the Judgment card as well. But every day is a new day for you to start working towards your brand new life. And the mountains are here very, very prominently, which does make me think, you know, there is going to be challenge. It is going to be like climbing a mountain. But when I think of mountains, I think about mountain goats. The fact that they will climb up the roughest terrain to get to the top. But when they get to the top, they find the most luscious, untouched grass. They have the most peace. They're away from all of their predators because they've worked hard to get to the top. And that top is their paradise. So Spirit is saying you're going to have to work hard to reach your paradise. And there are going to be some tricky steps along the way. But once you reach it, that's it. That place is yours. The top of that mountain is yours. You are the OG. Okay. Pile number 1. I'm going to leave that there. If you did like this reading and you do resonate with any part of this reading, please drop me a like and please drop me a comment down below. I do want to say I am taking a little bit longer when it comes to responding to comments and things like that, because there are a lot more comments coming through than usual and I am really, really struggling to keep up. So if you don't hear from me, I do apologise. I will always, always aim to respond to your comments, because that's probably one of my favourite parts of YouTube. I love meeting you guys. I love getting to know you guys. I love hearing your stories as well. So keep them coming. Something else I just want to throw out there as well. I need your support now more than ever. So if you did like this reading and you do like these kind of readings, please subscribe, because the YouTube algorithm seems to fit me into a future spouse box. And as much as I absolutely adore the future spouse readings, and I genuinely do, I do also love bringing you these general readings as well. So I really need your help to like this video, comment down below and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, because The views are always so much lower on these videos, but I just love doing them so much, okay? So I need your support more than ever, and I appreciate you all so much. Take care of yourselves, pile number 1, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye. Hello there, stunning pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. Let's look into your pathway towards fame, fortune, and success. And straight away, I can see that you guys are very practical and very earthy and grounded, because I've got so many greens and browns here coming up in the cards. I wouldn't be surprised if you are an earth sign, sun, moon, or rising, so that could be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. But what I can see here in your current energy is that you could be somebody who's very motivational by nature. Now, you could be somebody who motivates friends, you could be a natural therapist, you could actually be a therapist. I'm also seeing you being involved in some kind of study or considering some kind of study. Now, for a lot of you, I do feel like this is going to be like university level, but it doesn't have to be. But I do sense a lot of you having like a very practical job at the moment, and a job that is like a job for life kind of job. Now, if you do not resonate with that, I do think that you are looking to study, or you are studying for a job that is like known to be like a job for life. Now, I'm hearing things like nursing here, I'm hearing things like scientist. By the way, I'm not great when it comes to all these different occupations and being able to just reel them off, but you know what I mean. When I say like a nurse, you could work in healthcare, you could work in science, for instance. But there's something around you feeling like there's a little something missing. I feel like you are currently lacking that excitement. Now, I do feel for you guys, pile number 2, there's balance within your energy. So I don't think you guys are like a million miles off the mark when it comes to your highest potential. And when you think about the pile number 2 as well, it's a balanced number. It's 1 and 1, it makes 2. You are balanced. But I do think as well, pile number 2, because you are the number 2, because you are the number 2, where am I even going here? Why am I even going here? Because you are the number 2, you are 1, you're an individual, but you do have something else that you need to add to that 1 to create the balance, to create the number 2. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I hope this actually goes somewhere. So there could be something a little bit missing here. I think your life is a little bit too mundane for your liking. Now, you could easily have like an Aries sun or a Gemini sun, or prominent Aries in your chart or prominent Gemini in your chart. And it's this air or fire that mixes with this earth, and like I think like 80% of the time you're very practical, you know, you're very stable, you're very, you know, comfortable where you are, you know, you're satisfied, and then 20% of the time either this like air or fire energy creeps in and goes, you're a bit bored kind of thing. Because what I can see here when it comes to your highest potential is you incorporating this very like earthy, grounded energy. Making people feel comfortable around you is a big thing that I'm hearing here as well. Teaching as well is coming up very, very strongly. But there's also an air of sociability, exploration, travel on the other side of this as well. I'm just going to pull some little bits and bobs out of the bowls to see if I can get any extra information around this highest potential. We have got spiritual. So some of you may be living in a very corporate and very earth-based world at the moment, where people don't really look to spirituality or delve into their spirituality. And maybe you're having some kind of awakening, or you've had some kind of awakening, and you're starting to really separate from your old life that you were once very comfortable and very happy in. It could be that you're conversing with people about your spiritual beliefs, and the people that you work with currently, or the people that you're around currently, just don't get it. They just don't live in those realms. Dark and mysterious. You could be somebody with spiritual gifts, very, very strong intuition, but you're surrounded by people who make you feel like that is dark, who make you feel that, because I've got the devil here, make you feel that it's like the work of the devil. It doesn't have to be for all of you, but I do think for some of you that may be a little element to this reading here. Or some of you want to kind of be a little bit more daring, a little bit more risque, do things that seem like a little bit more kind of taboo. Again, it's like adding that excitement. Maybe what you want to do isn't that taboo, but because of how grounded you've been in the past, or how you've been influenced to be so grounded, maybe it feels more taboo than it actually is. And I know that's a little bit cryptic, but take it if it resonates, because it'll make sense to some of you. I also do think I'm either looking at people who want to be a parent or somebody who is a parent. Now, I want to say for those of you who are a parent, maybe you love being a parent, maybe you love spending time with your children, but you're reaching the point where you're like, I think I'm ready to do a little something for me. Now, I do think for pile number 2, you guys, I think this reading is going to go in many different directions, so please bear with me. It may not all resonate, or it may all resonate, we never know. Well, we do know, you'll know, I won't know, but I will know if you comment down below and let me know. So please comment down below and let me know if you do resonate, okay? So I think you could be getting to the point in your parenthood where you're like, you know what, I'm ready to kind of break out, break the chains and start, you know, being a little bit more free. Now, I do think in this aspect, for those of you who are parents, you might feel like you want to change your career, but be a little bit anxious about changing your career because you don't want to jeopardise the finances that are coming to the family. For those of you who are stay-at-home parents, you may be wanting to go back out to work, or you may be wanting to start some kind of business for yourself, even if that means a business from home. I can definitely see for some of you, you wanting to, and I said this for pile number 1, so I don't want you to think that I'm saying this for every single pile, but for some of you, it may even be the fact that you want to do something a little bit more influential when it comes to your parenthood. Maybe you want to do something on social media about parenthood. I remember when I was pregnant, the midwives at the time, they weren't amazing. Nothing against midwives at all, because I've spoke to so many people who've had absolutely amazing experiences with their midwives. But for me at the time when I was pregnant, it was a time where, because I'm in the UK, so we deal with the NHS. The NHS was under a lot of pressure, and at the same time as I was about to give birth, one of the local hospitals, their maternity unit roof fell through because the snow was so heavy. I shouldn't laugh. Why am I laughing about it? But it was just typical. Okay, I think that's well, it's not. I don't think that is definitely why I'm laughing. It was just typical. I gave birth from home anyway, but either way, if there is an emergency, I'm like, well, I'm going to go and give birth in a roofless hospital. So the midwives were under a lot of pressure, okay? I get that. I'm not poo-pooing on midwives at all. You could be a midwife, you could be wanting to become a midwife. Do you know what? If I was going to go into the health industry, I would really, 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 really want to be a midwife. I actually think I know midwifery is really, really, really hard work. I know it's ridiculous hours, but if I had to choose, I'd be a midwife. I just think it would be such a rewarding job. I love it so much. If you're a midwife watching this, let me know down below what you think about it. Let me know if it's like really rewarding. Let me know if it's not what it's cracked up to be. But either way, getting back to it, I found a lot of guidance on YouTube from other moms. Moms who were talking about their pregnancy stories, moms who were just talking about their journey whilst they were bringing up their child, and I just found it so endearing to watch those videos. Really kind of entertaining as well, but also extremely knowledgeable. I just got kind of hooked in that kind of mother-child social media thing, influencer thing. I don't even know what to call it, guys. But I got hooked on that. So it may be that you want to branch out in that kind of direction if you are a parent. Or maybe if you're not a parent, you may want to have a child and be really influenced by those kind of influencers and want to branch out in that direction. I also want to say, guys, if you are not a mother, you may be starting to get broody. Bear in mind, you can be a father as well here, okay? Or you can be a man who's wanting to have a child. But you're starting to get a little bit broody for some of you. And maybe you're actually looking at your lifestyle and thinking, okay, how do I manifest this now? How do I get this going now? How do I gain the stability that I need to actually make room for a child? And you may be having to think a little bit out of the box, especially if you want to become a mother or a father, okay? But this, again, nothing about genders, okay? Nothing about the roles of each gender, okay? I don't want to be too specific, but I do know for a lot of mothers, just because I'm a mother and I'm a female, so many women who are ready to have children look at their job and they think, I don't know if I could sustain that job if I had a child. Whether that be the fact that you couldn't sustain the hours, whether it be because that job won't reduce the hours, whether it be because that job has hours which are all over the flipping place. Of course, you're not going to be able to comfortably look after your child or be there for your child if you're working a job which is all hours of the day. So you could also be in that bracket where you're having to look at your lifestyle and you're having to be a little bit more creative when it comes to what you want to do as a career if you do want to make room for that child. I can definitely tell you that you are somebody who is a very, very natural parent. And I do think for a lot of you, I'm going to say even those of you who think, no, I'll never have children. I do think being a parent will be extremely fated for you. I think it will be an experience that will completely change your life. It will bring out parts of you that you didn't even know existed within you. And I do think you're going to find your ultimate abundance, or one element of your ultimate abundance, when you become a parent. And when it comes to your career, you're supposed to be doing something very creative. Do you know what? I'm gonna roll the dice here again for this. There's definitely teaching involved here. Whether this is formal teaching, I can definitely hear they're saying if you went into teaching when it comes to something that you're doing now, you're going to earn a lot more money. But teaching is here very, very strongly. Something about your knowledge, something about your wisdom. I even want to say course creation. For those of you who are a parent, or those of you who want to become a parent, it could be taking the knowledge that you have from previous careers, or any knowledge that you've accumulated through previous courses that you've taken, or even just life experience. I do feel life experience is coming up very, very strongly here actually. But they're saying you can create courses with that, online courses. I'm definitely seeing you being a teacher, creating courses, and being able to earn enough money whilst working less hours. Having the time to either have children, spend time with your children, or travel. Teaching is going to bring you your abundance, your success, and your fame, because you're going to be really, really flipping good at it. And this is teaching at a high level. You know, these are the kind of courses, or this is the kind of teaching you can do where people pay big bucks. Or it could be teaching at a university, being a lecturer, or some kind of guru is coming through here as well. More of these. Giving, the 222. You've got a lot to give, and I just don't think you realise your intelligence. Intelligent and study, as I opened that. I don't think you realise your intelligence. I don't think you realise that you've got a little something that other people need. There's definitely a lack of confidence with this group, pile number 2. It's like you're on the right track, but you're just missing something. And what this thing is that you're missing, maybe you're missing it because you don't have enough confidence to even believe that that's an option for you, or you are purposely not going in that direction because of a lack of confidence. I want to say for some of you, even though we've got so much, like we've got study energy coming up, we've got kind of 9th house energy coming up, which is like higher education. I do think some of you may think that you need to be educated to do this next thing, or to add this extra, or to add this extra string to your bow. And for some of you, Spirit is saying you don't need the qualification. I've been looking into coaching recently for me, and I found it absolutely crazy and wild that you do not need a coaching qualification to be a coach. Now, I'm somebody who likes to take a course. I like to have some kind of certification. I like to take a course. I like to know like the basics before I build upon that, but you do not need a qualification. And there are some very, 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 very successful coaches out there who have never done a course, and they do not hold a coaching qualification. Tony Robbins being one of them. So look up Tony Robbins, extremely successful. He is not qualified. You don't have to be qualified, babes. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to be qualified to be successful. There's something around the rat race here, okay? I'm hearing the rat race, especially around this devil. I feel like you are chained into the rat race. And this is what's getting in the way of you doing something a little bit different and bringing yourself more freedom by doing this thing. The thing that's keeping you stuck, the thing that's getting in your way of reaching that highest potential and reaching that success, fortune and fame. And I do think for you guys, you do have the ability to reach fame, but I do think a lot of you guys, pile number 2, a lot of you do not want it. I sense this pile being a little bit more private. I sense this pile being very introverted, but with like an air of extrovert. And I do think you may have to delve a little bit more into this more extroverted side of yourself in the future, because it's going to really gain you a lot more when it comes to your career and your success and your purpose. Because there's also a little side note here of them saying, be a little bit more sociable, be a little bit more out there. Be a little bit more confident when it comes to expressing who you are within whatever it is that you want to teach, or whatever direction you want to go in when it comes to your career, which is going to gain you more of that freedom. But you guys don't feel like there is enough space and you have enough clarity and freedom to be able to express your creativity or move things in another direction. It could be that you don't have anyone around you kind of boosting you, telling you, you could do this, try this thing. It doesn't matter if no one's done it before. You could be the first one to do it. Like, it doesn't feel like there's anyone around you supporting you in that way. So you feel very, very chained in the rat race, because a lot of the people that you spend your time with are chained up in that rat race. And bear in mind, if you're somebody who isn't stuck in a career, if you are someone who is like a stay-at-home parent, it could genuinely be that you have no support around you to tell you you can be a parent and be a career person. Pile number 2, I don't want to get too down and out in this reading, but I definitely feel for you guys, there could be a very heavy weight on your shoulders. You could be experiencing a bit of a dark night of the soul, you know, even a little bit of depression, because I've got sadness and fear here. I just generally don't feel like you have enough support around you. I don't feel like you have enough cheerleaders around you at the moment. And I do want to say, I don't normally use this in this kind of context, but I'm going to use it anyway, but you are the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And I feel for you guys, I want to kind of just switch that saying a little bit and tell you that your mood is going to be reliant on the 5 closest people that you have around you. So if you have people in your life who are a little bit pessimistic, you know, we all have those people in our lives who are pessimistic for no reason whatsoever, who have to find fault in anything. Even when you look at their life, you think your life is actually okay, like everything is fine, but they're still pessimistic about it, okay? Some people just like to be depressed. Some people just like to be the victim because they've learned in their childhood that that is how they're going to gain the most attention. And I feel like I might be having to say this to you because there could be somebody in your life who does express this type of pessimism, and you may have a little bit of confusion around them and just think, what are you actually down and out for? Like, nothing is wrong. Have you seen my life? Kind of thing. And I do want to say, if you do resonate with that, you do know who this person is, it may be worth not really taking their advice on certain things or trying to distance yourself if you possibly can. But I do think there's a lot of people around you who aren't giving you the belief that you can make a difference, that you can change. They're not giving you the encouragement when it comes to your best parts that you can really monopolise on. And I said this for pile number 1, and I'll say it for you guys. You know, look, I feel a little bit weird when I say this, because I know it's not the easiest thing to do. But there's an element of you needing to socialise in more fitting circles than the circles that you may be socialising in. Or for a lot of you, you may actually have friends who you know are a very good influence, and it may be worth spending more time with them. But the reason I say about the socialisation thing, and the reason I feel very uncomfortable about it, is because I need to delve into more social circles to bring in more healthy people in my life. People from walks of life as well that I'm currently walking in, because I need influence. I need people to brainstorm with. I need people who have achieved what I want to achieve to show me that I can achieve. And I want to say the same with you guys, and I said it with pile number 1. If there is no one or no group that you can go to locally, online, Facebook groups. There are Facebook groups everywhere which you can join the group with like-minded people, share, express, create acquaintances and create close friendships if that is something that you want to do. Just bear it in mind. Pile number 2, if you are resonating with this reading so far. And I do think your mood is going to change a lot when you change some of the people that you're surrounding yourself with, because I sense such a strength with you guys. I sense such an internal knowing of your own safety and stability. It's just really confusing for me to feel that in your energy, yet see this in your blocking energy, the fear and the sadness. It just makes me think that something else external is influencing this. Not only the fact that you could be stuck in the rat race or stuck in, you know, the matrix, M-A-T-R-I-X, matrix. It's crazy, isn't it, the things that you got to spell out these days, things that you can't say. But yeah, I think it could also be a couple of people who are surrounding you as well. And we've got Kens here as well. Now, when I look at this card, I can see that there is half of this circle hidden underneath the surface, a little bit like an iceberg. This is just giving me iceberg vibes, which tells me that you're only using half of your potential right now. It's that two again. This is split in two halves. This is the half that you're using, this is the half that you're not using. And I did say you are the number one, you are the individual, you are the only one. And that there is another half of you that wants to be added to your one to make a two. Here we go, I've done this thing again. I don't even know if that makes sense or whether that's a very good example to use. But you see what I'm saying here? You're only using half of your potential. There's stuff that's hidden beneath, which you're not showing the world, which you haven't executed yet. And it's whatever's hidden underneath here, which is going to bring you your ultimate abundance, your fame if you want it, your success and your fortune guaranteed. Because Spirit here, when it comes to the guiding part of your message, we've got behind a mask. You're hiding something behind a mask. You are hiding who you are behind a mask. This could be a part of you that you've never shown anybody before. This could be a part that you have shown somebody, but they've scrutinized it and you've had to push it back. You've had to hide it to protect it. But we've got great achievement here as well, behind a mask and great achievement. Another element of this is that you are not giving yourself the credit for your own abilities. You're not believing that you can achieve the things that you want to achieve. You're not giving yourself the credit for your abilities. You're only using half of your potential. It's like when they say you only use 10% of the brain. Like we've got 90% of our brains that we don't use. Apparently some people use 12%. I've read that somewhere. But yeah. And it's a little bit like this for you. You're only using 50% of your potential. You're not even believing in your own abilities. Spirit is saying, your abilities are there. Those achievements are there. Look back on the things that you have achieved. Doesn't matter whether it correlates to where you want to go in life or not. Look back at all the things you've achieved. And if you are a mother, doesn't matter how you've given birth, girl, you have given birth. That is an immense achievement. We've got Mirror here as well, and I do think this is the way that people are treating you at the moment. If you're looking at yourself like you were lesser, if you're looking at yourself like you're unable of the things that you want to achieve, people are going to treat you like that person. Because you're reflecting a lesser version of yourself, which is BS. Because Spirit here is saying, like, stop it. Stop hiding yourself behind a mask. Stop hiding your greatness. But if you're projecting a lesser version of yourself, people are going to feel that projection. That's the projection that they're going to see, and they are going to project that straight back to you to make you believe that you are lesser. Bear in mind, okay? And this is a little word of wisdom from the High Priestess, which isn't out here, but the High Priestess says, whatever you believe in here or in here in your head is what other people are going to believe. A quick example of this, two people going to a job interview. Person number one, they are very naively confident. They're an extremely arrogant person by nature. They haven't done any research on the company. They don't have the credentials for the job, but they feel like they can wing it anyway because they wing everything in life. They're a winner. Then you've got person number two. Now this person has studied hard, this person has the credentials, and this person's done a hell of a lot of research around the company and what will be required within that job so that they can succeed in that interview. The only difference is Paul number two is very nervous. They're a more nervous, more anxious person. They've got a little bit more wounding in their life, and they have done the utmost research when it comes to that job interview so that they can sustain some level of confidence. Now those two people, person number one, person number two, they go to the job interview. Person number one gets the job. Now, why does person number one get the job? Because Paul number one showed confidence and assurance. It doesn't matter whether they've got the qualifications or not. What they felt about themselves in here projected onto the interviewer, and Paul number one got the job. And that is why we've got to be so conscious about what we feel about ourselves in here. Because humans can be incredibly foolish. Humans will believe anything that is backed by any form of confidence. You can lie to somebody and have a level of confidence while you lie, and that person is going to believe you. But at the same time, you can be telling the truth with a lack of confidence, and that person isn't going to believe you. Spirit really, really wants you to look within and make sure that you're seeing yourself for the person that you truly are, and that person is absolutely fabulous, and you need to start projecting that fabulousness. And boundaries. You're being asked to have more boundaries. I had to go through the same amount of boundary building when it came to building my own business. I've been one of those people my whole life where people just expect me to jump, they expect too much from me. And there was a phase a couple of years ago where my boundaries were being crossed left, right and centre, and I was literally like, oh my goodness gracious. But I knew in that moment it was a message from Spirit to say, you need to learn how to say no. You need to learn how to build boundaries now. Because if you truly do want your own business, all it takes is one person to come in and destroy that business if you cannot say no and if you do not have any boundaries. And I want to throw that message out to you also. Okay, part number 2. I'm going to leave that there. If you resonate in any way, if you enjoyed the reading, please drop me a like and please comment down below. Let me know how you resonate. Let me know your life story. Let me know anything in the comments down below. I do want to say, if I do not get a chance to respond to your comments straight away, I will get there eventually, or you will hear from me one way or another. Some people have posted some really beautiful comments, but there's been a few people where when I've got to the point where I've been able to respond to the comment, it's already been deleted. And I really, in those moments, I really hope it's not because I haven't been able to respond to that comment quick enough. Because I just want everyone to know that if I don't reach a comment, it's just really hard to keep on top of at times, and I don't want anyone to feel left out or feel like I'm just ignoring them, because I promise you I'm really not. And also, I need your support now more than ever. So if you do like this video and you like this theme of video, please hit subscribe, please like, please comment, because YouTube have fit me in like the future spouse algorithm, and whenever I do a video that's outside of the future spouse theme, my views just go really, 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 really low. I love doing future spouse readings. I'm always going to do a future spouse reading here or there. I'm not leaving future spouse readings behind, but I absolutely adore doing these general picker cards as well. So please show this video some support. And yes, part number 2. Thank you so much for being here. Take care of yourselves, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye. Part number 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's look into your pathway towards fame, fortune, and success. Now, I really do feel a very modest fame coming from your cards. We do have Sagittarius here, which can talk about fame and worldwide fame, and we do have the 9th house here, which is the house of Sagittarius. But I do feel that whatever fame part number 3's gain, it's not flashy and it's not flexy. It's giving me very public figure kind of energy, and there's something very inventive around your energy as well. I don't know whether you're going to be a pioneer and do something new, or whether you're going to take a very mundane subject and make it exciting. But there's something very logical and something very scientific about whatever would gain you that fame, fortune, and success. Now, when I look at your energy currently, I can see that you are delving into, I want to say, like, you're interested in things which aren't earthbound. Okay, this doesn't have to be for all of you, but I can see that you could be interested in things that aren't earthbound. This could be something that is pertaining to your future career or your future success or your future abundance, or it just could be that you have like a hobby about things that are very unknown. You could be very detective-like. You could be somebody who likes to discover new things. You could be somebody who likes to uncover the hidden, and you could be somebody who likes to be very inventive. I feel like you're somebody who likes to be an original as well. You like to stand out in the crowd. If you see something that everybody else is doing, you don't like doing it. And it makes me think that you guys, part number 3, as an example, you'd struggle to be like TikTok famous. You know, when everyone jumps on a trend, I think if you see everyone doing something that's trending, you're really turned off by that. You have to do something original. And when you do something original, you're like, well, why am I not getting the views? And it's like, well, you're supposed to jump on what's trending. So there's something about you that's very pioneering. And you like to stand out in the crowd. You like to do things differently. You're very inventive. I'm hearing Thomas Edison come through. So I think it just could be an example. Like, you're one of those people who you have the potential to change history with what you can bring to the world. You really do channel a lot of creative ideas as well. And I do want to say that any clues to where you're going in life can come through the dream space. You could channel amazing ideas, and I want to say, like, these are unique and these are special and these have been gifted to you. either from your higher self. They even say, okay, and I know I'm making myself sound a little bit crazy and a little bit woo now, but I'm just telling you information that I pick up from here and there and whatever. I don't know whether I believe in it or not because I don't have the experience of it. Or do I? I don't know. Who knows? They do say that a lot of the great inventors in history will say, and this one's fact, if you see any interviews with them, they will say, the idea didn't come from me, it came from beyond, it came from somewhere else. Michael Jackson is a great example of this, where I think it was Billie Jean. Don't correct me, do correct me if I'm wrong, but if you do know which song it actually is that I'm talking about, it's probably most of his songs, by the way, but correct me if I'm wrong, that's the phrase I'm looking for. You may be somebody who likes to make up new phrases as well. I remember when I was in school, I tried to make coolies happen. People would be like, oh, you know, I'll meet you at 5, and I'd go coolies. And I really did try to make it happen, but if I say it enough around people, I swear to you, they start saying it. And once they've said it, they're like, oh, why have I just said that? And it's like, look, it's catchy, right? Reminds me of Mean Girls when they're like, stop trying to make fetch happen. Fetch is never going to happen. Well, coolies. Coolies. If I say it enough, maybe you'll start saying it too. But you guys, you're channeling a lot more important things than the word coolies. At the same time, when it comes to people who've invented things in history, they're channeling a lot more important things than the word coolies as well. But they will say, it didn't come from me. You got Michael Jackson, for instance, could have been Billie Jean. And he's like, I didn't write Billie Jean. I channeled Billie Jean. Didn't come from me, it came from somewhere else. And they do say, in some circles, that aliens, non-humans, can gift human beings these channelings to progress the world, progress society and things like that. So, didn't come from me, all right? Didn't come from me. But you could be one of those people. Jot down any ideas you get, no matter how wild they are, because these ideas, or even just one of these ideas, is going to be the key to your fame, your fortune and success. Now, I do think that you are the kind of people who are just happy to be respected. If I'm respected, I don't need the flashy car, I don't need the big mansion, I don't need like a ton of girls or boys throwing their knickers or their boxes at me. I just need respect, I need to be heard. So I feel like you guys would take fame in your stride. If you did gain the fame, you guys wouldn't be the kind of people to be like, oh my God, there's the paparazzi. You'll literally just be like, oh, it's a paparazzi, like it's just a normal way of life. I don't know what it is about you guys, but you give me like a little bit of like robotic energy, but not in a, I don't mean it in an offensive way. I just mean it in, I just think you're very adaptable, actually. Very adaptable, nothing phases you. Maybe the first time, if you had paparazzi in your face, you'd be like, oh, okay. But then by the second time, you're used to it, you've adapted to it, you take it in your stride. I really do think for a lot of you, you were born to be famous as well. And I do think a lot of you may have had dreams of being famous when you were children. I think you're the kind of people as well that if you meet somebody famous, if you bump into somebody famous, you don't get overwhelmed. You just get very intrigued. You want to ask them questions. You want to understand how they gained that level of fame rather than just being like, oh my God, I can't believe it's Beyonce. Although, I don't know, if I saw Beyonce in public, I think I'd just kind of try and breathe in some of her air. When it comes to your highest potential, we've got teaching, we've got worldwide influence, we've got belief systems, we've got CULT energy here as well. I'm not saying you'll become a CULT leader, but when we talk about Sagittarius, we can talk about CULTs, but we also do talk about cultures, different cultures. And the word CULT is in the word culture because it's a way of life. It's a way that a group of people choose to live their life. So it makes me think that potentially your fame, success, abundance, fortune, whatever the title of this video is now, lies in you moving society in a new direction, evolving cultures. I hope that makes some kind of sense to you. It makes me think that you discover something new, you invent something new, or you adapt something old into something new, and it really does change the world. Now this is hitting me so deep here in like my heart, my soul, my cleavage. Because this is impactful, like this just literally like went boom into my soul and my heart, which just shows the impact you guys are going to make. There's something about you making something that's not so fun. There's something about you being a very serious personality with an air of comedy. You could be a comic who talks about society, societal movements, world events, something around resolutions here and emotions. So I don't know whether you're somebody who discovers a new way to create resolutions for difficult emotions. You could be somebody who talks about difficult things, but you make it fun, so you make people listen. I always go in the direction of listening to content which has an air of comedy. And comedy is coming in very strongly with you guys, pile number 3. So it makes me think that you could have the potential to talk about difficult situations, or difficult concepts, or boring concepts. It doesn't always have to be difficult, it could just be boring concepts, which people need to understand and know about. But you put an air of comedy onto it, and it makes it really interesting. You could be somebody who's a spiritual leader, spiritual guru, but you make spirituality fun. You make it fun, you make it fashionable. You draw in your audience because there's a lightheartedness to it. It's exciting. Where they could go to another spiritual leader or guru and it just be like a big yawn fest. Because I definitely see whatever it is that you do here, you really are nourishing people's emotions. With the moon here, you're being very caring, very motherly. You're being a safe space for people. Now the thing that's getting in the way of this, got the Hermit and the Five of Pentacles. I did mention something around you being very robotic. And this is extremely contradictory here, which makes me think that you've got two sides to you. A little bit like a split personality kind of thing going on here. Because there's this really serious side of you and this really jokey and jovial side of you here that I'm experiencing. But when it comes to what's getting in the way of your fame, success and fortune, it's a coldness and a seclusion. I don't know whether you're sitting on a skill, whether you're sitting on knowledge, whether you're over studying something, whether you've been somebody who's been studying something for years and years and years, even decades, and you've been using it as a hobby, but now it's time to make it into a career. But your confidence isn't there, so you just keep on studying and thinking, oh, I need to study more before I actually express this outwardly. I actually do this as a career, or I actually have people see me. Spirit is saying it's time to come out of hermit mode. They're saying it's time to stop tweaking this thing. That's what I'm hearing in particular. They're saying it's time to stop making tweaks. You're fine, or it is fine the way that it is. I'm also hearing here that potentially there could be an element of distance between you and other people, or distance between you and Spirit is particularly saying here your audience or your desired audience. I don't know whether you're somebody who is either very introverted or can be a little bit antisocial at times, or somebody who's never really mixed with large crowds of people, or somebody who doesn't do well or doesn't feel comfortable when meeting new people. Because this is coming up very strongly here, and I can definitely see that if that is the case for you, if you're extremely introverted, if you are somebody who struggles with new people or in crowds of people, or somebody who can be antisocial at times, it's because you fear rejection. No one fits in every single circle that they enter. Nobody is liked by everybody. You're going to be for some people and you're not going to be for others. And I can definitely feel that there's a sensitivity underneath the coldness that kind of sits at the top of you like a shield and a boundary. I feel like you've been really hurt in the past, pile number 3. Deeply hurt on a very, very personal level. Like someone's pulled everything personal about you apart and criticised it. I can just see somebody pulling out your heart and stamping on it. Your most sensitive areas have just been stomped on by somebody, or it's been a phase where somebody's done that to you because you are so defensive. And this robotic nature that I was picking up on at the beginning of the reading is a coping mechanism. It's a shield, it's a boundary so that people cannot hurt you and do that to you again. But it's this barrier that you need to break down to reach your highest potential, because it's time to open up, it's time to be vulnerable again, because what is within is this full energy. one, a new beginning, and two, this really skilled communicator. This person who has the ability to be vulnerable, but not make people feel uncomfortable with the vulnerability. You know, if somebody comes to you and tells you a difficult story, sometimes it can make you feel very uncomfortable. Sometimes it can feel like the person is saying too much. Sometimes it can make you wince, it can make you cringe, it can make you feel like you don't know what to say back to that person, but you have a way where you can tell somebody a vulnerable story who you're comfortable with and make them feel very comfortable in that moment. So rather than them feeling awkward, they feel like they're connecting with you, they feel like they're part of something, they feel like they're learning something, and I really hope that makes sense. But what's getting in the way of your abundance right now is the fact that there's a part of you now that needs everyone to accept you. I cannot be out there, I cannot be expressing myself vulnerably if I'm not being accepted. If somebody says a negative thing about me, I don't know how I'm going to take it. If the whole world is against me and they don't like me, I don't know if I can take it. There's an energy here where Spirit wants to say, screw it. People are going to dislike you. People are going to hate. There's people out there who aren't going to believe in what you believe in or what you're trying to preach or what you're trying to bring the world. But there's going to be a ton of people who do. And you're starving, with hunger here, you're starving those people who need you just because of a fear around being rejected by the people who clearly don't need you. Or probably do need you but don't realise it, and that's their prerogative, it's their problem. Now your guidance is for you to believe in your knowledge, to believe in your wisdom, believe that your higher self has got you. You could also be somebody who doesn't have a lot of support around you. You could be somebody who doesn't have a strong family unit, or you could be somebody who, you know, unfortunately, if this is the case, I'm sending you so much love and support. You could be somebody whose parents are no longer here. So you're struggling because you want to bring this brand new thing to the world. Whether this be revolutionary or whether this be a brand new thing to your world. Something personal that's brand new to your world. But you don't have those cheerleaders and that support system behind you to say, yeah, you can do it, part number 3. It's like just no one's there, it's just you. I just feel like you sitting in a room and being like, I'm gonna do it, okay? And the example I'm seeing here is I'm gonna make my first YouTube video, okay? I'm gonna make my first YouTube video, I'm gonna do it, and then putting the camera on, messing up twice and going, do you know what, I'm just not ready, I can't do it. Because you don't have that person in the room next door to you coming in and just saying, that didn't even sound bad. Like, just carry on, that didn't even sound bad, what you on about? Did a little bit of filming for my on and off person. It's twin flame situations, it is what it is, guys. But they were filming for something that they were doing, and I was there helping out with all the tech and things like that. And I noticed them, they kept starting again, and I was like, what are you doing? And they're like, no, it didn't sound good enough. And I was like, it sounded perfect. And luckily he had me there to say, whoa, you sound great. But if I wasn't there, how many takes would he have done before he just said, you know what, maybe this isn't for me? And I feel for you guys, you don't have that person sitting there saying, whoa, that sounded great. Or whoa, that idea is amazing. Believe in yourself. Stay grounded is another thing that Spirit is saying right now. There's an element of you that can get so lost in the moment that you can step out of your own body and become your worst critic. Sometimes when you speak, I also feel you leaving your body and not really knowing what you're saying. If you stay grounded and stay in the moment and take your time, something else with taking your time. Got Taurus energy here. Now you could be a Taurus sun, moon rising. Could be a Taurus moon in particular here. Could be a Sagittarius moon here. We've also got Pisces energy on the board. But there's something around you rushing what you're saying as well. There's no need to rush. Take your time. When you speak slowly, it actually shows confidence. Now I do know that some people can speak so slow that it's quite irritating. But there is an experience, and I won't name who this person is. I did not, you know with the phrase bored to tears? I never realised that that was a phrase because you could physically get bored to tears. I had somebody speak so slowly to me that tears started rolling down my face. I was in a restaurant and I was sitting there with my head in my hands, and I was just looking at this person while they were speaking very, very slowly for a very long time, and I actually felt a tear rolled down my cheek, and I was like, oh my God. I really didn't know that was possible. I really didn't know it was possible. But it is. So I'm not saying speak super, super, super slow, but there is an element of taking your time when you speak, which keeps people listening. It shows an air of confidence and it shows an air of authority. Do not be afraid to speak slower. I know we live in a very fast-paced world. Don't push yourself to speak faster. Speak slower if you need to speak slower, and if it means that you ground more into what you're trying to express and what you're trying to say. And we've got the same thing coming up here again in the guidance, as the fact that not everyone is going to like you. Having people not like what you do is a way of life. No one is 100% liked by everybody, even the most popular person in the world. And I do think I do know the most popular person in the world. And no, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about somebody else. And I know that not everybody likes that person as well. But I can see here that this is actually quite surprising. I didn't expect this to come through. I don't know whether you're single and you're looking for a partner. There's something around you not being your full, authentic self through a fear of rejection. Okay, you're not doing anything dodged, but just through a fear of rejection, which is making your soul tribe, whether this is just friends or whether this actually includes like a romantic partner as well, they can't see you because you're not fully being you. And they're looking for you, but you're hiding, you're camouflaged in this different persona, in this different life, with these different people who don't necessarily match your energy. I'm going to leave that one there, and if that will make sense to somebody who it relates to. But it looks like there's a whole new friends group, and even for some of you, a whole new relationship once you step into this highest potential. And you'll know if this is for you or not, because if this is for you, you will know, because you will be struggling to relate with the people around you at the moment. But if you're watching this and you have an amazing group of friends, that part may not be for you, or you may be already on this journey. I may already be discussing your life at the moment, and you've already stepped into this. But this is again that your guidance, your guide, Spirit is saying, deception comes with success. When you are winning in life, people are going to chat S-H-I-T about you. People are going to hate. You've got a choice. Do you want to hide, or do you want to deal with the haters and reap the success? Something around rumours here as well. There's a song called Rumours. What's that song? What are the lyrics? I had to get my phone because I realised that the song was Lizzo Rumours, and I just want to read you a few of the lyrics to see whether you resonate with any of this and whether this song means anything to you. I would suggest listening to this song because I actually really love this song. It's probably my favourite song from Lizzo, but it's like a real boost kind of song. It's a real feel-good song. It's like a real like kind of F you kind of song. So, they don't know I do it for the culture, and we did mention culture in this video, in this pile, guys. They say I should watch the S-H-I-T I post, say I'm turning big girls into H-O-E-S's. They say I get groupies at my shows. All the rumours are true, yeah. What you heard, that's true, yeah. IFC UK, him and you, yeah. If you believe it, I do that. I had to cut some H-O-E's loose, yeah. NDA, no loose lips, I don't know what that means. Now them H-O-E-O's trying to sue me. B-I-T-C-H, I don't give two S-H-I-T S's. Now, I wish I could have sung that properly, but there's so many swear words in there. I really do feel like it is a fear of haters. It's a fear of rumours. And that's the only thing that is getting in the way of your success. Now, I do think that you are somebody who will get a lot of controversy. I genuinely do. You could be a Sagittarius midheaven, you could be a Scorpio midheaven, you could be a Pisces midheaven, you could be a Taurus midheaven. I do see you doing something very different, doing something that could be very revolutionary worldwide or revolutionary within your circles. And yes, there will be controversy, but this is Spirit saying, don't worry about it. Listen to Lizzo whenever you're feeling like somebody is attacking you for living your best life and doing something different and being courageous. Yeah, guys, I support you, pawn number 3. I really enjoyed this reading. I'm just going to pull a few little bits and bobs from the bowls, because I was supposed to pull these at an earlier stage and I forgot. But these can be like a few little, parts and messages for you. Authoritative. Guys, you are like the big boss. You guys are the leader of the pack. You guys are revolutionary. You've got authority to do whatever this thing is. Intense. And that is your energy. And that's why you will have controversy. That's why you will have haters. There's something incredibly, incredibly influential about you. Accomplished. You're already accomplished. You don't need to keep studying. You don't need to keep tweaking. You're ready for it now. And what's this last one? Wealth. Oh my gosh. I love all of these energies because it literally just describes your energy in a whole, the energy that I've been feeling throughout this reading. Wealth. You've got big wealth coming your way. And I think even if you're somebody who hasn't achieved wealth yet, or you're somebody who, well, you probably have been in a phase where you haven't achieved wealth, I think you're the kind of person that people could confuse for being wealthy, confused for being better educated than you are. I'm not saying that you're none of these things, by the way, but people in the past could have thought that you were better educated, wealthier than you are. But there's just something about your energy that's just so impactful. And this is why you have the ability to make a real difference, either on this planet worldwide or within your own world. And I think that's absolutely amazing. Pile number 3. I am going to leave your reading there. I really hope you enjoyed it and you resonated. And if you did, I do ask that you drop me a like. I ask that you drop me a little comment. I will endeavour to respond to your comments. There's just so many coming through at the moment. I'm really struggling to keep on top of them, so I don't want anyone to feel left out if I don't get back to your comments. I absolutely love reading your comments. I absolutely adore responding to them. One of the most favourite parts of YouTube for me is conversing with you guys and getting to know you guys, but it is getting to the point where I'm really struggling to keep on top of them, so I don't want you to feel like it's personal if I haven't commented back or anything like that. Also, I need your support now more than ever, guys, because the YouTube algorithm is really pushing me in a future spouse box. And whenever I step out of that box and post any different type of reading or any different theme of reading, I am having some really low views, and I really need those views to stay high so I can keep bringing videos like this for you. So if you did like this video, I do ask that you please hit that like button, that you comment down below if you have anything to say, and most importantly that you subscribe to the channel so that you can see more readings like this in the future. Take care of yourselves, Pond number 3. I appreciate you all so much. I shall see you next time. Goodbye.